We've all felt it. You're up late, working, studying, watching a movie, reading on the computer. Doesn't matter what you're doing, it's the feeling you get. You're tired, your eyes burn and have the gritty feeling you get after not sleeping for a while. Okay, you can't crawl into bed right now, but close your eyes for a couple minutes. Try to get a little moisture back into your eyes. That couldn't hurt anything, right? Then you're falling. Like stepping off a cliff, you're in free fall, though your body isn't even moving. Then, like a bungee cord snapping back, you're jerking awake, heart thumping a little faster, blinking quickly, wondering what just happened. Doctors call it a hypnagogic jerk, a natural reaction, they say, to your brain thinking you're dying when your breathing and heart rate slow as you fall asleep. What the doctors don't know is, your brain is right. Every time you let yourself nod off, every time you feel that falling sensation, you're not falling. You're being pulled down. And one day, your brain won't be able to pull you back up. They will have you. When you are admitted to a hospital, they place on your wrist a white wristband with your name on it. But there are other different colored wristbands which symbolize other things. The red wristbands are placed on dead people. There was one surgeon who worked on night shift in a school hospital. He had just finished an operation and was on his way down to the basement. He entered the elevator, and there was just one other person there. He casually chatted with a woman while the elevator descended. When the elevator door opened, another woman was about to enter when the doctor slammed the close button and punched the button to the highest floor. Surprised, the woman reprimanded the doctor for being rude and asked why he did not let the other woman in. The doctor said, "That was the woman I just operated on. She died while I was doing the operation. Didn't you see the red wristband she was wearing?" The woman smiled, raised her arm, and said, "Something like this." A few months ago, a friend of mine, who is an up-and-coming nature photographer, decided to spend a day and night alone in the woods outside of our town. She wanted to get photos of the woods and wildlife as naturally as she could for her portfolio. She wasn't afraid of being alone, as she had camped by herself many times before. She set up a tent in the middle of a small clearing and spent the day taking pictures. She filled up 4 rolls of film on that trip, but when she went and got them developed, she saw 4 pictures that unsettled her. These 4 pictures were taken from inside the tent, of her, asleep in the middle of the night. You are home alone, and you hear a news bulletin about the profile of a murderer who was on the loose. You look out the sliding glass doors to your backyard, and you notice a man standing out in the snow. He fits the profile of the murderer exactly, and he is smiling at you. You gulp, picking up the phone to your right and dialing 911. You look back out the glass as you press the phone to your ear and notice he is much closer to you now. You drop the phone in shock. There are no footprints in the snow. It's his reflection. During the summer of 1983, in a quiet town near Minneapolis, Minnesota, the charred body of a woman was found inside the kitchen stove of a small farmhouse. A video camera was also found in the kitchen, standing on a tripod and pointing at the oven. No tape was found inside the camera at the time. Although the scene was originally labeled as a homicide by police, an unmarked VHS tape was later discovered at the bottom of the farm's well, which had apparently dried up earlier that year. Despite its worn condition and the fact that it contained no audio, police were still able to view the contents of the tape. It depicted a woman recording herself in front of a video camera, seemingly using the same camera the police found in the kitchen. After positioning the camera to include both her and the kitchen stove in the image, the tape then showed her turning on the oven, opening the door, crawling inside, and then closing the door behind her. 8 minutes into the video, the oven could be seen shaking violently, after which point thick black smoke could be seen emanating from it. For the remaining 45 minutes of video, until the batteries in the camera died, it remained in its stationary position. To avoid disturbing the local community, police never released any information about the tape or even the fact that it was found. Police were also not able to determine who put the tape in the well, or why the height and stature of the woman in the video didn't come close to matching the body they found in the oven. One afternoon, a couple was traveling on by car when at a far distance they saw a woman in the middle of the road waving frantically. The wife told her husband to keep on driving because it might be too dangerous, but the husband decided to pass by slowly so he wouldn't stay with the doubt on his mind of what might have happened and the chances of anyone being hurt. As they got closer, they noticed a woman with cuts and bruises on her face as well as on her arms. They then decided to stop to see if they could be of any help. The cut and bruised woman was begging for help, telling them she had been in a car accident and that her husband and son, a newborn baby, were still in the car, which was in a deep ditch. She told them that the husband was already dead, but that her baby seemed to still be alive. The husband that was traveling decided to get down and try to rescue the baby, and he asked the hurt woman to stay with his wife inside their car. When he got down, he noticed 2 people in the front seats of the car, but he didn't pay any attention to it and took out the baby quickly and got up to take the baby to its mother. When he got up, he didn't see the mother anywhere, so he asked his wife where she had gone. She told him that the woman followed him back to the crashed car. When the husband went back to look for her, he noticed that clearly the couple in the front seats were dead, one of whom was unmistakably the woman who had flagged them down.